Peace. This is Wise Words Media back at y'all for another round. And the New York Football Giants have a very interesting dilemma, a good problem, you would say, on their hands, as there's a growing consensus, from fans to analysts, that say that Jaxon should be the starter of the New York Football Giants. The Giants, on the contrary, are sticking with Russell Wilson, and many fans are calling for this to change before the start of the season on Sunday against the Commanders. I feel that this is the right move, keeping Wilson as your starter, right? Because the mistake that a lot of these NFL teams do is they draft a college football player in April, and they want him to be a top 10 quarterback come September, October. It's not possible. The level of play is completely different going from college to the pros. It's a very different game, just like it's a different game going from high school to college. But jumping from college to the league, it's a very, very different experience. You got the biggest of the biggest. You know, they went and scoured the whole country. And that guy that was 6'2", giving you problems because, he played the edge well, that guy now in the NFL is 6'5". That guy in college was about 6'2", 210. That guy in the NFL is about 6'5", 240, coming to run you over like a Mac 10 truck. So it's a different game. They're faster, bigger, stronger. So it's not ideal for teams to do this. And this is why we see time and again, they plug in quarterbacks that they draft with high expectations, and then they struggle. They struggle mightily, and then by the end of the season or beginning of the next season, they're already considering a new quarterback. They're already looking for new. This is not how the greats were groomed. The NFL was not like this before. You could go even as recent greats like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for years in Green Bay. For years. Learning the playbook, learning the game from Brett Favre, watching Brett Favre, listening to Brett Favre. He's watching the game, he's studying the playbook. So when his number got called, he was ready. He was more than ready. And we saw what happened. He won a championship. Another example, Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes had to sit a whole year behind Alex Smith. And he sat behind Alex Smith, and he just learned the book. He learned the playbook. He just kept showing up at practice. He kept listening to Alex Smith. He kept learning from him. And next thing you know, Mahomes wins a championship. You see the level of comfort he had on the field when he finally played, because his moment that he's been studying and waiting for finally arrived. Tom Brady, the GOAT of quarterbacking, arguably the GOAT. Many consider him the GOAT of quarterbacks. Tom Brady sat behind Drew Bledsoe, studying until his number got called because Bledsoe got injured in a game by the New York Jets. And then in came Tom Brady. The rest is history. A dynasty. So this era of instant oatmeal has hurt more quarterbacks than helped them. So if the New York Giants are in a position where they can actually let this thing marinate, let it slow cook, let it come about organically, instead of rushing the young guy out there and wanting that instant oatmeal, they will benefit from it. Especially, they're in a good spot. Russell Wilson, contrary to what some football analysts have said, listen, old media was crapping on Russell Wilson for a reason. Sean Payton had become a beloved member of old media. And they didn't want to talk bad about their boy. He made friendships. So now Russ became the fall guy. And now they started talking about Russ. Yes, granted, his first season was bad in Denver. But when he learned that Sean Payton system over the summer, the very next year, rapid improvement. He had one of the best touchdown to interception ratios in the entire NFL. He had something like 28 touchdowns with like 10 interceptions or something like that. 8 interceptions. Like, he had a very low number of interceptions and a high number of touchdowns. And he started forging connections with some players like Cortland Sutton. He was starting to look good out there. So Russell Wilson, with all the experience he has, championship pedigree, been to 2 Super Bowls, won 1. And that guy, you have that opportunity. You're giving Jaxon Dart the opportunity to have that guy teach him the game. A winner, a proven winner, teach him the game. While he still has something left in the tank, you see Russell at any given moment, preseason, he throws an 80-yard bomb. A bomb, 80-yard bomb to start a game against the Jets. So we're talking about somebody who still has at least one decent year in the tank. And if you give him a good defense like the Giants are prospectively giving him, with the potential of having Sexy Dexy, Abdul Carter, Spider Burns, and Thibodeau, you giving him that pass rush. You could put the NASCAR package out there. You're giving him a great pass rush, a great defense. We've seen plenty teams win a Super Bowl with a serviceable quarterback, as long as that defense is doing their job. That defense is giving them extra opportunities. Those defenses are, keeping them fresh, because, they are providing their part to the game. And the Giants have that. They have that potential right now. So let Russell Wilson start the season. Let him end the season. And if you have to, for some reason, go away from Russell Wilson, I just heard something that bothered me yesterday, that now they moved Jaxon Dart up in the depth chart. And now he's QB2. So if anything happens to Russell Wilson, he's going into the game. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't want Jaxon Dart to play any NFL football this season. He just shouldn't. Let this thing slow cook. If you had Russell Wilson and nobody else, then I get it. But you got Jameis. Famous Jameis. Jameis. You got famous Jameis there. You don't need to rush Jaxon Dart. You really don't need to do it. Just let this thing slow cook, man. Let it marinate. Let him soak it all in. And I guarantee you, he will be a far, far better professional quarterback at this level if you give him at least that one solid year to learn under a former Super Bowl champion and a former first-round pick, number 1 overall pick in Jameis Winston. You gave him two people that could give him so many jewels that he can learn the game from. Just let him develop. That's all we ask, man. We've seen these mistakes happen plenty of times. We just had a Daniel Jones experience. That Jones, maybe he does develop into something, maybe he doesn't. But y'all didn't even give him the opportunity because you put him in there. You put him in the air fryer. From the moment he came to the league, it's not easy. It doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody is Justin Herbert that you just put him in. And even Justin Herbert didn't start from the very first week. He didn't do that. Remember, there was an injury to Tyrod Taylor that forced Herbert to start. So they didn't even want to start Herbert. So Herbert was learning the system for weeks too, prior to jumping in. So these are the more successful stories when people are allowed, when these quarterbacks are just allowed to learn the game from afar. Like that chess player that's just watching the board while two people are playing. And you seeing moves that the other people can't see because you're seeing it from a different vantage point. Let him see it from that vantage point. Guaranteed. He will beat everything we've seen in preseason and better. I'm Waz for Waz Words Media. Peace.